And we are live. What's up, Concrete?
Not much. Wednesday. It's Wednesday, but I'm wishing it was Friday. Aside from that, not too much is going on.
How's your week been so far?
Long. The last week of the month always is because it's a busy work week for me. But I'm halfway there. I'm over the hump now, so you know.
I know that's right. I know that's right. It's been pretty much the same on my end. Just busy, busy, busy. And I have been you ever just have those days or those weeks like shit? Um
Oh yeah, all the time, and I'm having one because I just feel like I'm being pulled in a multitude of directions, and I'm just like I can't wait for Friday.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Hey, everybody in the chat. What's up, Topaz? Hey, Mr. Edward Hyde. Hey, Ricardo. Hey, NJ Prophet. Hey, Mugen Black. How y'all doing? Hey, Ricardo Rodney. Y'all good?
Hey, black people.
Girl, what is up with my internet? I know I
Thank.
paid the bill.
Now you sounded like me over there, but
About to be the
thank
bathroom.
you all for thank you all for joining us. We appreciate the support. I think this is going to be a really good topic tonight. I am looking forward to this discussion.
Okay. Okay. If I can ever get my doggone internet to work, we'll be even better. Topaz, yeah, girl, I'm baby D. I'm baby D. Y'all remember Friday, right? Yeah, honey. Let me see, honey. Give me just a second. I don't know what's going on with
Sure.
the internet, child, but we'll get it straight in a second. But anyway,
Um, Yeah, so about this topic, which is, let me turn down my TV. It's actually a question, and it is, does the Black community celebrate its own demise? I think we often hear that being kind of alluded to on various different panels, and we decided to just kind of discuss it and lay it all out there, and kind of get you all's take on it. Um, where you want to start, Danny?
well, um, first we can touch on Kobe Bryant and rest in peace to him and his daughter Gigi. Um, a very, very horrible situation that happened. I'm pretty sure all of you guys are aware of what happened, but to get into a little of the aftermath of it, the man hasn't even been buried yet, and we've seen videos and comments from other from Black women talking about he doesn't deserve any support or any type of empathy simply because he was married to a Latina. And I found that so fucking egregious. It is absolutely ridiculous. You hoes are ridiculous. Um, because you would want somebody to, I'm not even gonna say celebrate you in your death, but to at least have some empathy for the situation. And the fact that motherfuckers are worried about where his money is going after the fact. First of all, it wasn't going directly to you. So that in itself is a thing, but you hoes are really out of sight for even bringing that kind of shit up. Especially the man just died. Like, have some
Yeah.
fucking empathy and some sympathy
Well,
for the rest of his children and his Black family. You know.
um, and I won't get too far off into it because that's another topic in and of itself. But I have seen some of the commentary from Black people, and and I know that there are like white journalists who have made some egregious comments about his death, posting links to the rape case, and
Oh, girl.
like really focused on that rape case and bringing it up and just basically trying to smear him as a person. And I've seen several, and when I go into these articles, when I click the link to the articles, even in the comments, there are tons of white people that are just ripping him to shreds. But I expect us to do differently. Like, I have a higher expectation when it comes to us, as it relates to, you know, other people of our race. Like, I've seen it, and I've seen the comments, I've seen, you know, the posts regarding him and tearing him down. And, you know, it's the same thing, but on a higher scale that they were doing to Sean Bell. And Sean Bell had actually made negative comments regarding Black women. Like, there is absolutely no reason that we should be taking shots at this man. Like, the tragic death of him and everyone involved, everyone that was on the flight, his freaking daughter was killed with him. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't understand how someone could even, you know, fix their face to say anything negative about this man. This is an absolutely tragic loss to the Black community. We shouldn't be saying anything negative regarding this man and his resources and folk. We're wrong mess. And, you know, that's why we can't get anywhere. That's why we can't move forward.
I was sitting there and I'm like, so a Black man can be proven innocent, or he was exonerated, or the case was dropped, whatever, whatever. The factor of the matter is he wasn't found guilty. And so it's like the fucking nerve to bring all of this shit back up, and this man's is absolutely ridiculous. But now Pookie and Ray Ray could have killed fucking 5 people,
And
then
it's not,
sold drugs up and
yeah.
girl.
Now, that's the
They
white women that I'm seeing that are doing.
body.
That's the white women that I'm seeing that are doing that. You know, I haven't seen any Black women doing that, and I'm seeing, you know, the white women pulling this whole rape thing. And that what it is, and I don't want to get off too far into it because I feel like it'll steer us too far off the topic. But they're again finding another Black man to attach to the Me Too movement, to, you know, as opposed to allowing him to rest in peace with his daughter. You know, they are finding things to besmirch his character, and it's absolutely wrong. Like, it's deplorable. It sickens me to think that somebody could be that disgusting.
Right. But there's so much hatred. And it's just it's so deplorable to me. Imagine just passing away and somebody's like, well, where your money going? Like, God damn, really?
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? It is. It's really sad, and it just goes to show where we are as a people. I mean, like, seriously, it's real disgusting to me. You know, and that's just the way I feel about it. It saddens me to think that a woman has lost her husband and her child,
Girl.
and she could even be impacted further, or people could cause her further pain by dragging her husband through the mud. Like, it's not right. There's no two ways about it.
Girl. Oh, I you know, just when you think that bitches can't sink down to a whole new low, I swear they prove me wrong every time. They prove me wrong every time. And it's like I feel some type of way to hear Black men talk about Black women the way they do, right? And I honestly feel bad about it because I'm like, damn, you know, not all of us are like that. But then when you get to a point where when somebody dies and you're starting to see a trend of these types of comments, and it's like, okay, on one end, you want to penalize this man in his demise, in his death. You want to take that and penalize him, but let Pookie and Ray Ray get out on early release. And girl, let's throw the barbecue. Let's have a celebration.
Absolutely.
The woman that had her 6th child by the 7th man. Let's have a baby shower for her. I just
being a race first woman, I am against dating outside the race. However, I would never, ever, ever, desecrate my brother's grave because of whatever choices he made in relationship to his relationships. I just would never, unless it was somebody that was, you know, anti-black and went on a campaign to tear down the black community and did egregious things within the black community that impacted us all or impacted us as a whole. Like, why would you and you know what the craziest thing is, if the worst thing, and I'm focusing on what I've heard black women say about him, if the worst thing he did was marry a Latina, which they aren't subjugating us, but if that's the worst thing he did as a person, then I mean, you should be okay with that, because none of the people that are judging him, like, you got your own mess that you should be concerned about, instead of focusing on who he married and had a family with. It's just absolutely crazy. But you bring about a good point when you talk about how when Pookie and Ray Ray, or guys from the hood, they commit these crimes, these atrocious crimes within the community, go to jail, and then there's a celebration when they're released. You know what I mean? We're celebrating. There's a big party, a picnic. We're throwing a big shindig for them once they're released. Make that make sense. It doesn't.
You know what? And I thought about our topic and everything, and I was like, what's the pathology behind it? What would make us celebrate the worst of ourselves? What makes us celebrate this type of shit, though?
That's a good question. And my only response to that would be dysfunction. That's the only thing that would have you celebrating things that are detrimental to your community and your people. The celebration of baby mamaism, the celebration of thought life, the celebration of
Girl.
hookup culture. Like, why are like, you're thinking about like the Cardi B, the City Girls, and how that becomes like the seasonal anthems, the things that they sing about, and it's absolutely deplorable. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I am embarrassed by where we are as a people, and I'm an optimist, so I do believe, I'm just holding out hope that there's just a small glimmer of hope that we could come up out of this situation. But it's absolutely deplorable, like, for us to celebrate some of the things that we do in reference to immorality.
Right.
It is very telling of where we are and who we are as a people.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. So would you say that there's an increase in us celebrating our own dysfunction?
I absolutely think that there's an increase, and I think that the further we get away from having a strong moral fortitude, or having any moral fortitude for that matter, the more likely we are to celebrate dysfunction and deplorable behavior. When you think about our community, there's a ton of things that I feel like we celebrate, so to speak. And I use the term loosely because we condone some of these things, are just things that we condone and we accept as part of the community and part of the culture. When you think
Mm,
about, like I said, I talked about baby mamaism. We almost encourage and celebrate toxic behaviors.
yes.
There's so many things that we are doing that are detrimental to us as a people. Thinking about like the love and hip hop thing, this dysfunction permeates our music, our
Mm,
TV. It is not only celebrated, like, this is what we're spending our money on. Like, we are, by watching the ratchet TV, they'll get more advertising bucks, and they're able to make money off of displaying ratchet behavior, which becomes known as part of the culture. And then I think that there's another sensitive topic that I find that we celebrate too, that I'm going to speak on. I first want to say that I don't have any problem with, people's sexual orientation. However, I also see that there is a celebration amongst Black women of, homosexuality. When I think
Yeah.
about, like, Billy Porter, the Grammys just happened. So I always see a lot of women rallying in the comments, kind of celebrating his attire and yes, girl, and, that all that type of thing. But I don't know if we realize that that is also something that does impact our community. It impacts our legacy. So to celebrate it and to, kind of make it as though it is a positive thing. If you, whatever you decide, that's your business. But I just find it kind of hypocritical for us to celebrate that and then denigrate men who decide to leave the community in other ways. Because in a sense, those men are deciding not to procreate, so they're not helping to sustain the community. And we have to be honest about that. It's the same thing with men, like I said, that are going to jail, that are derelict in their manly duties. If you're in jail, you're not able to partake in building up the community and building a legacy within the community and putting anything positive back into the community. And I'm not ignoring the fact that there are some cases, and far too many, where men are jailed for nothing and or false crimes are pinned against men. But there are also, let's not ignore the fact that there are, like, the cases where people are actually committing crimes and repeat offenders, and look at the high rate of recidivism and people returning to prison. We can't
Girl,
ignore the truth either.
right. Because it's actually designed, I think, for our men to go back to jail, because the jail is not for rehabilitation. The jail is basically slavery, legalized slavery, that's been put into place, especially for Black men.
Absolutely. Well, jail is it's a business. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
about, they jails, prisons receive over like $100 and something per day per prisoner. It's a business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So when you think about it, like, you're putting money in their pocket by committing crimes or putting yourself in a position where you can be arrested for wrongdoings, as opposed to being out here in the community and helping to build it up. So we have to recognize how the dysfunction that we see within the community is not being called out. It is being condoned. There are more and more people participating in it, and
Yes.
it is tied to our culture.
Yes. So why do you think we celebrate ratchet culture? And I mean, like, the Cardi B's, the Megans, the Stallions. It's kind of interesting. Let me just say this real quick, because I would say, like, when Beyonce first came out, when Destiny's Child first came out, I wouldn't necessarily consider them ratchet when they first came out, but at a certain point, they always kind of do the good girl gone bad shtick, and it's like, why can't why does it have to go to ratchet? Why does it have to go to hood? Why does it have to
Yeah.
go to street? Why are we celebrating these things? Why is
Well,
it popular?
I think that it's really immorality. But to take it a step further, I think that for Black women, the celebration comes from the freedom that is rapped about or being sung about within the music, which is by proxy way in which we are tying ourselves to feminism. You know what I mean? Like, they're
Mm.
talking about women having the freedom to screw who they want to screw, women having the freedom to do what men do, and it is very closely tied to feminism. And that is, we've been indoctrined to subscribe to that. And I think that that is a large part of why Black women celebrate it so heavily. Yes, we can do exactly what the men can do, and we can, I think that that's my reasoning for why I believe we meaning Black women, celebrate it.
And then, it's so interesting. It's like women want to do what men can do, but then complain with the same damn mouth now, complain, oh, we don't have any protection. They won't protect us. Why aren't they protecting us?
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
always
But
look at it like, have these motherfuckers lost? Like, if a man has to compete with you, he ain't gonna protect what he has to compete with. He
why
competes with
is
other men.
Why does he need to protect you when you're his equal? You said you're his equal, and I can do whatever he can do. I can. Well, I don't need to protect my equal. We're one and the same.
Facts.
So we have to realize that and recognize that if we're talking about how much we want and need protection, that we can at the same time be fighting to be seen as their equal. If you're their equal, you don't need his protection.
This is true. This is true. And then you notice that the money flows toward the ratchet behavior and stuff now. And I was looking at this and I was thinking about this. So damn near every female rapper that's come out now has been like a stripper, or she celebrates stripper culture, or if she's mainstream, it's some stripper shit happening, right? And there are no more Lauryn Hill types. And not to say that Lauryn Hill was just very innocent, because, child, she got a story. But the type of things that she was rapping about, you don't have rappers, female rappers, or even male rappers that are pushed to the forefront when they have a positive message. And I remember when hip hop was positive on both the women and the men, or if they was talking, it wasn't ratchet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like when you see the push. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was saying, when you see the push toward the ratchet shit, it just kind of makes you wonder, why is all the ratchet shit being pushed to the forefront? And people don't really think a lot about the programming that we receive when we see these things, or we don't think about the programming that how it affects us. If you watch too much of the shit, like if you watching music videos and you on Instagram every 5 minutes, it makes you want to do certain things. Matter of fact, I'll give you a great example. Chief Keef, you ever heard of him before?
Of course.
Okay. Chief Keef actually said that his music raised the murder rate in Chicago. And
wow,
you would have thought it would have been a boycott. So I'm like, he says his music raised the murder rate.
I don't understand why that is something to be proud of. But I do want to say that I certainly understand that we have a unique set of circumstances in this country. I understand that there are places in which Black people, specifically Black men, are being locked out of, certain sectors. They are being relegated to only doing, heavy labor and things of that nature. I understand that it is more difficult for Black men to succeed in certain ways than people of other races and other sexes. But I want to say that if you care anything about your community, like recognizing that the behaviors in which you're engaging in are toxic to the community, that you are helping to negatively impact your community, and you found impact with your negative behaviors that you're engaging in. When we talk about selling drugs and gang activity and things of that nature, I feel like that if you're still making the conscious decision to engage in those behaviors, like that's a very selfish thing. I think that when we talk about, men leaving the community, I think that is voluntary abandonment. You are putting yourself in a position where you know that it's a high chance, a high likelihood of you being locked up and or killed and taken away from your family, your children, your mother, your community, where you can do good. You're volunteering to abandon and or walk away from the community too. That's another way in which you're saying, I'm not invested in this community. Screw this community. I don't care if it burns down. And, it's no different than, men that are consciously choosing to exit the community, marry outside the community, and move elsewhere. It's no different. You're not, any better because you're staying in the community yet hurting the community.
So let me ask you a question. With men that's saying, fuck the culture, leave the community, and then I want to get into something else in a second, but what's the incentive for them to stay if the women don't respect them? they're most likely they can be arrested for any damn thing at any time, um, with with higher chances of the law succeeding against them. Like, what's the incentive for them to stay if they have all of these things against them, especially if they don't have the support of the women? What do you think about that?
Okay, so wait, are you talking about men who choose to marry outside the race and leave?
Yeah, when they say
Oh,
they're leaving the culture and exiting the community, what do
hmm
you say about that? When they feel like they don't have the
um,
support in the chips are basically against, when everybody's basically against them. And that's the thing that I feel like I'm getting from them, is that they feel like the women are against them, the jobs ain't really worth shit, um the culture really is fucked. I mean,
well, I think personally that it's not going to change. And like, if our most competent men are saying that, the jobs ain't worth nothing, and there's a higher likelihood of me being arrested and the law succeeding, then you recognize the things that we in the community are fighting against. I think that, as a person who recognizes that, being competent, hardworking, smart, intelligent, with resources, then it benefits the community for you to pour those resources into the community and help to get things changed, help to lobby and get things changed for our people. So that's personally what I think. I understand, like, I don't have an argument for them saying that the women in the community aren't, that they're, everything that they don't want. So they're matriarchal. They don't respect the Black man. They don't want to submit. They don't. So I don't have an argument for that. However, the other things that you brought about regarding the conditions within the community, I feel
right.
like if you recognize that, then and you have the resources and the mental fortitude to fight against it, then it benefits the community for you to do that.
This is what I'll say too. A lot of people feel like they did not help destroy the community, especially Black men within this sector. They say, I didn't make any single mothers. I haven't committed a crime.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much kept my head in my books. I got my education. I'm getting my money up. Why am I responsible for fixing something that I did not help destroy?
Right. And I don't like so in my opinion, I didn't help destroy the community either personally.
Right.
However, I'm invested in the community because these are my people and I don't want to see them suffer. I want things to change for them. I want there to be more opportunities for them. I want, there to be a strong community of people to rally around them in their time of need. I want to do away with, gang activity and crime within the community for them, for the children, for those that are elderly and who have, worked all their lives and, now they can't walk outside after the sun goes down. Like, I want my people to have a fighting chance. Not everyone can afford to walk away from the community. Some of these people own homes within the community and, they've lived there for many, many years. The home is paid off. They don't want to start over. There are a myriad of reasons why people can't necessarily just up and leave the community. And I want to help to make it better for those that are within it.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets to be a hard wait a minute. Oh God, here we go. Somebody time Dark Force ass out for a few minutes, because we ain't on this bullshit, and don't bring this shit over here. We ain't on it.
Y'all
We on
about to get on
something
my nerves.
else.
And
Next.
hello to everybody who spoke. I did see quite a few people. I saw Art and Water Sniper and a lot of you guys. I'm sorry. I'm in and out of the chat, but thank you to everybody who spoke. But Dark Force, we already addressed that. If you are really interested in knowing what happened, go ahead and watch the last stream that we did. But I never left anyone out to dry. Don't come over here starting shit. Like, don't come over here with that. We're not on that. We're talking about a completely different topic. If you want to know what happened, check out the last stream or Kick Rocks.
Okay. Oh, one of our guests is here. Let me drop the link for her, because I told her I would drop this link. Sissy, bring your ass. Bring your ass, sissy. There you go. There you go, girl. Um, but yeah, I like so what do you think about us celebrating what do you think about us celebrating the hood? Is it really a part of our culture? Have
I think
are we solely responsible for it becoming a part of our culture?
Um, yes and yes. I think that in a way it is part of our culture. It's certainly looked at as part of our culture, like the hood stuff, the ratchet stuff. It's not a positive part of our culture. It's not a part of our culture that we should be so proud of. However, it is, in essence, a part of our culture nonetheless. But there are, parts of everyone's culture that's not so favorable. No matter who you are, there's a part of your culture that that is likely not favorable. But I do think that it has become a part of our culture, but it's not what defines our culture, and that's what's important. And we need, and at the rate that we're going, though, that's what's going to end up happening. It's going to be solely what is looked at when they think of Black culture. If we don't make a conscious effort to change that.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you feel like would be some good solutions?
I think that, first off, we have to children. I think that our best bet at making any impact is going to be through the children. And I think that also we need our best and brightest to aid in building up the community. I know that they are saying we out of here, we ain't trying to hear that, and I hear them, and I'm not going to fight with anyone personally. I'm not going to um, try to hold anyone who does not want to be here. But for those that do care about the community, and we don't just need them to do it. We also need Black women making a conscious effort. I see a ton of successful Black women. I see a ton of successful Black sisters. I see a ton of Black female entrepreneurs. Like I can't even name how many entrepreneurs that I know. So we need them pouring back into the community too, as opposed to wasting resources. We need them trying to, even the ones that have made bad decisions, we need their testimonies. We need them talking to young girls and explaining how hard and difficult it was for them to get to their level of success so that young girls can choose differently too. So we need all hands on deck. We need everybody pouring back into the community in order to build it up, in order to change the image of the Black community. And we need to boycott or ensure that we are not supporting those things that are celebratory of, ratchet Black culture.
Yeah, but it's to a point now where it's almost hard to separate ratchet Black culture from regular Black culture because, like, if you turn to any Black award show, right, you'll have Yolanda Adams perform, and then you'll have Cardi B coming up right after her, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Yeah, and that's why, but you know what? Like, we have to be more vocal. Like, I feel like, yeah, we're on our platform and we're like, where are the people, the groups of people that are launching petitions to say, we don't want, this ratchet, we don't want our children seeing this ratchet behavior. We don't want our children being exposed to this. Like, nobody is stepping up and speaking out against the ratchet behavior. To be completely honest, yeah, that's a thing. And I see so many people saying that, we're too far gone, but we haven't actually made a conscious effort to be loud and vocal about what's going on, what we won't permit, what we won't allow in our community, and fight
right.
back against those that are enabling, this ratchet Black culture to permeate, our children and our lives and what we see within the media.
Someone asked an interesting question earlier in the show, and I think they asked, do Black women like ratchet culture because Black women want to be hoes? And
That's an interesting question. That's a
and
stupid question to me. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't necessarily I actually think it's I think it's a very interesting question because in one sense we would say okay, women want to be really sugar and spice and everything nice. We want to say that. We want to say that. But if we hear of our girls playing a nigga, we like, yeah, girl, because these niggas ain't shit. Yeah, girl, do what you gotta do because these niggas ain't shit.
I
And
think that's nuanced because I don't do that. And I don't have friends who like brag about playing dudes and stuff like that. I mean, most of my friends are older than me, like they're a bit older, but like I don't
Mhm.
celebrate women playing men. Like I'm the friend that my friends come to when they want somebody objective because they know I'm gonna be like, no, you did not have to do that. Like you cursing him out or you going off on him, like that was uncalled for. Like I'm literally generally the person that is defending the man's point. So I think that that's nuanced because I don't do that.
I don't do it, but I definitely know people who do. I definitely know who people who do. And it's like, I almost feel like women want some get back. And so when you see women, and I'll give like a really, really good example. Um, and I know a lot of men aren't going to want to hear this, but hey, here it goes. I take the woman that's been sexually assaulted at a young age, and she ends up being a hoe later on in life, and she feels empowered by this wholeness, and men still flock to her, but it's like she has a superpower over these men because she feels like somebody violated her at a certain point. And so being that she was violated at a certain point, she gets to be whoever the fuck she wants to be because she was violated. And I kind of wonder about that because when you really talk to a lot of those women that end up being kind of ratchet and being a certain way, it's like, well, this thing happened to me when I was a young girl, or it happened to me whenever. And so now I get to do whatever I want because I'm getting back at these niggas because these niggas hurt me at a certain point. But then
Mhm.
everybody is screaming that they're hurt. And that's basically what I see.
Well, hurt people, and it's not right. It's very unfortunate for a woman, a young boy, a young girl to be a man to be assaulted. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, because
It's
that's another thing that we
absolutely
definitely don't talk about. We
yeah.
definitely don't talk
We
about that.
don't, but I just want to say that I think that if I were in that situation, if I knew someone in that situation, I don't believe that you can naturally heal from that type of trauma. Like you need some help. You need to be talking to somebody. You need to work through that. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. That's it's absolutely horrible, and I understand that uh, as a reaction to what happened, a lot of them, do engage in promiscuity and
Yeah.
all these kind of different deplorable behaviors. But I think that's because those are people who are crying out in a sense.
Yes. Yes. So, are you ready to open up the panel?
Yeah, let's do this thing.
All right. All right. So, here's the link. And y'all come join us and come talk to us about the topic. What y'all think?
I'm seeing a lot of comments where people are just like, okay, it's too late, it's too late. And I expect that. I personally am an optimist, and I'm probably too optimistic, but I also feel that a lot of people in this space are quite pessimistic. So in all reality, it probably is too late for a lot of things. It may be too late for a lot of people, but it's not too late for the next generation if
Right.
we catch them early. There's a lot that and a lot of things that have been done can't be undone. But that's why I'm saying if we catch our children early enough, and we go back to instilling values in our children. I mean, and Mugen was saying this is the information age. You won't be able to keep your children away from the information that's out there, and that might be true. However, limit the screen time. Make sure that you're watching and taking care to ensure that your children aren't exposed to certain things under your watch. You can certainly limit their exposure as best as you can. I remember when my kids were growing up and they had cell phones. I had Verizon Wireless, so I could see what they were doing on the phones. I could monitor. I could block out certain sites that they couldn't go on and things of that nature. And more telephone companies give you the ability to do that now. So you kind of have to ensure that you're watching what your children are being exposed to and managing what they're being exposed to.
Let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Black community is in what shape do you think the Black community is in as a whole?
I think that we're in a state of peril. I think that we are drowning. I think that we are in, a dire situation that we need things to change and things to change fast. If not, I'm scared of what the future may hold for us.
Yeah, me too. Hey Tedros, and what's up, Kevin Paris? How y'all doing?
Hey people.
Hola.
Yeah. So as far as the topic